Caesar Wars. The birth of the empire. The Ottoman Empire began in 1299 under Osman I, a tribal leader in Anatolia. His followers, the Ottomans, slowly expanded from a small beylik into a powerful Islamic dynasty. Osman's leadership laid the foundations for one of the longest-lasting empires in history. Ghazi warriors and early expansion. The Ottomans adopted the Ghazi's Islamic warrior ethos, attracting other tribes and Muslims to their cause. These warriors led successful campaigns into Byzantine territory, cementing Ottoman strength across western Anatolia. The conquest of Bursa in 1326. Osman's son Orhan captured Bursa. It became the first official capital and administrative center. This victory marked the transition from tribal power to centralized rule. The rise of Murad I and Edirne. Murad I moved the capital to Edirne in Europe. Symbolizing Ottoman expansion westward. His victories in the Balkans brought new ethnic groups under Ottoman rule and challenged Christian Europe directly. The Battle of Kosovo 1389. A defining moment came at the Battle of Kosovo, where the Ottomans defeated a coalition of Balkan states. Although Murad I was assassinated during the battle, the victory solidified Ottoman influence in Europe. Bayezid I and the siege of Constantinople. Bayezid, Murad's son, continued expansion and laid siege to Constantinople. Though the city held, it was clear the Ottomans were positioning themselves as the dominant power in the region. The crisis. Timur in the Battle of Ankara 1402 and 1402. The Ottomans suffered a devastating defeat at the hands of Central Asian warlord Timur. Sultan Bayezid was captured. And the empire fractured into civil war known as the Ottoman Interregnum, reunification under Mehmed after over a decade of internal strife. I restored order, reuniting the fragmented state and stabilizing its administration. This recovery set the stage for renewed imperial ambitions. Murad I in the Second Siege of Constantinople. Murad I led several campaigns in the Balkans and resisted European crusades. He prepared the way for his son, arguably the greatest Ottoman Sultan, Mehmed the Conqueror of Constantinople, in 1453. Mehmed achieved what many had failed to do. He conquered Constantinople, ending the Byzantine Empire. Renamed Istanbul, it became the heart of a new multicultural empire that bridged Asia and Europe. Governance and legal systems. Mehmed II centralized authority and implemented laws combining Islamic Sharia and royal decrees canon. The millet system allowed religious minorities to govern themselves, ensuring loyalty and reducing rebellion. Selimai and the Islamic Caliphate. Selimai of 1520 expanded the empire into the Middle East, defeating the Mamluks and capturing Mecca and Medina. The Ottomans now ruled as caliphs, leaders of the Islamic world. Suleiman the Magnificent. Apex of power. Suleiman the Magnificent brought the empire to its height in the 16th century. He was a military genius, legal reformer and patron of the arts. Under his rule, the Ottomans became a global superpower. The role of the Janissaries. The Janissaries were elite soldiers, originally Christian boys taken through the Devshirme system and converted to Islam. Loyal only to the Sultan, they were key to Ottoman military success, but later became politically dangerous. Trade, art, and architecture. The Ottomans controlled major trade routes and were cultural patrons. Istanbul flourished with stunning mosques, including the Suleiman Blue Mosque. Calligraphy, textiles, and ceramics reflected artistic excellence. The decline begins. Internal corruption. By the late 16th century, corruption, inflation, and palace intrigues weakened the empire. Weak sultans and court factions caused administrative instability. Military defeats and external pressures. The failed siege of Vienna 1683 marked the turning point. The empire began losing European territories. And rivals like Russia, Austria, and Persia grew stronger. Tanzimat reforms and modernization. In the 19th century, the empire introduced Western-style reforms, including legal equality and modern education. These efforts aimed to save the state but created internal divisions and nationalist movements. World War I and collapsed. The Ottoman sided with the Central Powers during WBI. After defeat in 1918, the empire collapsed. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk led the Turkish War of Independence, abolishing the Sultanate in 1922. Legacy of the Ottomans. The Ottoman Empire lasted over 600 years. Its legacy endures in Turkey and across former territories, from Balkan cuisines to Middle Eastern architecture and Islamic legal traditions.